Okay, before I change my shirt and act like it's a different day and I'm recording on a separate day other than the video that you just watched, I figured I should probably make a video talking about some of the music that I've been listening to this year because I've been wanting to talk about the shit that's been dropping for a minute. But I don't know. With my friends, I feel like I can't really talk to them about the music that I listen to because we listen to like different shit. And then if I'm just like rambling on about the intricacies of what the message is behind what I'm listening to and they don't understand, I'm just gonna feel unfulfilled. So I don't bother. But I have a camera, so starting off with Baby King, you know, he's one of the honorable mentions because this nigga hasn't dropped. He did drop a project, but that was last year. I'm trying to talk about stuff that I've been listening to this year. I have been listening to his music, but that's only because I was sleeping for a really long time. His stuff is like, it's not the greatest to listen to all the time, but when you're in the mood for it, it just hits different, bro. And like the song with Kendrick Lamar, in my opinion, is overrated. It's only so highly approved by the public, in my opinion, because Kendrick Lamar is on the song. But if you ask me, his verses ain't even all that good. But Baby Keem's sound is very interesting to me, and his production style is basic but effective. So overall, I'm putting this nigga in like probably like B. Yeah, solid music. Okay, Tyler the Creator. Last year, I know I said I'm talking about this year, but last year this nigga dropped "Call Me If You Get Lost," and that album is probably, I think that was the best rock album that dropped last year, aside from the Fall Off. Because when not the Fall Off, not the Fall Off. What was that called? Yeah, okay, last year. The Off Season dropped last year, and that was the greatest rap album that dropped last year, in my opinion. Aside from this, Call Me If You Get Lost was just Tyler the Creator's. I'm not gonna say magnum opus, but in my opinion, it was his magnum opus because every track on that song was like damn near unskippable, even the long one. Because for the storytelling alone and the way that he's able to conduct that over the beat, it's just it's incredible. Like that shit blew my mind, and I loved it. I'm still listening to, what is the name of the song? What's Your Name? That's probably my favorite song off the album. It's short, it's goofy, feel good. Young Boy sounds good on that song, and I hate Young Boy's music, so that's saying something. Anyway, I'm putting this shit in A. This S spot here is only reserved for one person, but we're not there yet. Right now, I'm gonna focus on MF Doom. I've come back to his music recently just because I don't know. I've been feeling a bit nostalgic, and I listened to MF Doom my senior year of high school, and then like at one point in college, but then I kind of just like lost touch with his music and stopped listening to it. But Saffron, Deep Fried Friends, Whole Cakes, MF Doom is just fun to listen to for the most part because like you never know what you're gonna get with him. It's sometimes random cartoon samples over amazing beats, or just amazing beats by themselves, or then it's him, rapping on top of both of those things, and it's always a good time to listen to his music. It's classic in my opinion. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop him an A as well. Okay, Cochise. I feel like everybody kind of hopped on the Cochise bandwagon when he did that song with Snot, Tell Him, and that shit blew up on TikTok, and then it was everywhere, and there were the dance challenges and blah 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 blah. But I was on this nigga's music a little bit before that. I'm not trying to be a dick rider or nothing, but I like his stuff. I really do. Like hatchback was my shit. That's the type of car I have. Like what? Anyway, he dropped the inspection last week actually, and upon a first listen, I was kind of unimpressed because it felt really it sounded like him, but it was a lot more experimental. And because he's such a new artist, I don't really blame him for it. It kind of feels like he's coming out of his shell to expand what his range can be. I don't know if I'm with the full 9 yards, but I like the good majority of the songs on the album. So I'm probably going to put him in the same place as Baby Keem for now. We got to see what he does in the future for me to move that any further. The Weeknd here, I have The Weeknd on here twice because I want to talk about Dawn FM separately from not the Starboy album, but one song on there specifically being Die For You. I love that song, nigga. Like, if I could sing, I would sing the whole song right now. But I don't want to do that to you or myself. But that song, it's just the melody, the video, the story, what he does with his voice on the chorus, where it's like a slightly faded echo when he says "die for you." It's just like that shit sends chills through me every time, bro. I will never get tired of listening to that song. It's too good. It's too good. I like it. But because this is only one single that I'm talking about, I'm just gonna leave it in C, because these four that are already up here, projects that I'm mentioning as a whole. So I'm not gonna do that. Now, West Side Boogie. I've never listened to this nigga's music. He was only brought to my attention because I watched this guy who reviews music on YouTube named Sean C. His album called More Black Superheroes dropped recently, and he was listening to it, and I heard a track on there that caught my attention. So I was like, okay, instead of finishing this video, I'm gonna go check it out myself. So I listened to the album, and I don't really understand the title of it with the narrative. Like, I kind of get what he was going for, but I don't think he landed all the way. And that's not to say that any of the music on there is bad, but just that the narrative doesn't necessarily match the title. Small nitpicky shit, but I liked it. I liked the album overall. It was a good listen, very introspective. It felt more personal than anything. Like, it spoke to a wide demographic of what black people, I feel like, experience as a whole, which is why I kind of understand the title a little bit. But at the same time, there was a little bit too much personal info in there to give it that powerful of a title, in my opinion. I like the album cover. Just a side note, I think that shit is cool. It's a beautiful picture. Favorite song on there is probably LOL SMH 2. I didn't listen to the first one because, like I said, I never listened to this nigga's music before. But that song, that hit me personally. I'm gonna put it in B. Because I really did like it, but I don't think it's on par with anything that Tyler the Creator has done or MF Doom did in his time of living. May he rest in peace. Anyway, another honorable mention, Nav. Now, I don't really like this nigga's music for the most part. I've been listening to it a bit more because I listened to this song specifically while I was high, and it it changed everything, or my opinion of him for the most part. Not him, his music, to say more or less. Anyway, I like this song. It's a good vibe. Like, no matter what type of mood you could be sad and listen to this song. You could be happy and listen to this song. What he's saying in it, if you're feeling it, is gonna hit even harder, which I was at the time, because when I was listening to this that day when I was high, that shit was, there was a whole week span that I was just not sober. And this song hit. So I'm gonna go ahead and because it's honorable mention, I gotta put it in C because it's just a single. We're not talking about whole projects. Kate Bush. I'm gonna put her in C. Not talking about this album, The Dreaming, specifically, but just because watch Stranger Things. That's all I have to say. Just watch the show. Vinyl Days. Whoo! I honestly wanted to save this for last because I have the most to say about this album, I think. But I'm gonna keep it short because I don't want this video to be too long, and I already have to do like a couple jump cuts and shit in between. So this is probably my album of the year. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what else is dropping this year that I'm really looking forward to. Like, there was Kendrick's album, which we'll get to after this because I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here. We coming up on that shit. But Vinyl Days did something for me that Logic's music hasn't done for me personally since I was in like junior year, which is like inspire me to create shit. Him breaking free from the reins of Def Jam's stringent contracting hands has allowed him to kind of express that freedom into his music a bit more. So it's not the horrible trap rap that was Bobby Tarantino 2, or in Bobby Tarantino 3, where he was doing a whole lot of pop music. I mean, he had like trap rap and pop music mixed in there, but it really wasn't his sound. Like, Logic was there, but like, this is him going back to what he started off with, which he says a lot, like in that, like, he's making it clear, like, hey, like, yeah, I'm off the contract now, I'm independent, like, I'm back, like, this is me, this is what we're doing, and you can feel it. It's a good time, it's a good listen. The production is crazy. favorite song on here is by far Therapy Music. I don't know who the feature is in the beginning. If anybody knows that song or any of the songs on this album, please let me know who that feature is, because I want to listen to that nigga's music. He didn't note him in the song, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. Anyway, this shit is going to A. Low key, I'm thinking about, I'm gonna make it an A+. Hold on. Okay. Kendrick's album. After 5... Wait, was it 5? Because when did Damn come out? That was 2016, right? If Damn came out in 2016, that means it's 6 years. 6 years since this nigga last dropped an album. And he comes out with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Now, that's not to... that sounded a bit condescending. I don't dislike this album. I just don't think it's his best work. I don't think it's the greatest that he could have come up with after a 6-year period. Now, I know a lot of that time was spent in depression, because Kendrick Lamar, for a while, musically was the pedestal and foundation for the support of the black community. And that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. This nigga was the undisputed GOAT from the time I entered high school to around the time I left. Then there was a dry period because him and Cole weren't really dropping anything like that. Then Cole came back before he did, took over the game, and now J. Cole is at the top of his shit. We're not going to talk about him right now. This is about Kendrick Lamar. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. It's a double album, and it does what Kendrick Lamar has been doing well for a very long time, which is talk about a lot of the issues in the black community. On top of that, some of his personal experiences mixed in, just telling stories and speaking from the perspectives of many other people. And his music is always impressive to me. There are songs I love on here. Like, The Heart Part 5, favorite track off here. I mean, that was the single that he dropped beforehand, kind of to promote the album a little bit. So, I mean, I could be bandwagoning, but I don't care. The song is good. The rest of the album, musically, is just not... Like I said, it's not his best work. Like, I feel like what he did in Damn stands higher than what he did in this album for the most part. So I'm gonna put it in A, because it's above all of these people I have in B right now. It's not up here though. This shit, I only wanted to talk about Drake's album, that the Little Surprise album that he just recently dropped, because I despise this nigga's music for the most part. What the fuck is this shit called? Honestly, never mind. Yeah. The name of the album speaks for itself. It's a nonchalant name for a... Do I want to say horrible? That shit was ass. This album was so bad. It was bad. I did not like it. That song, Sticky, that's the only song that I've heard anybody play off of that album thus far, is okay. And that's only because I think that's the song with 21 Savage on it. He kind of saved that shit, I'm not going to lie. 21 Savage isn't even that impressive of a rapper, in my opinion. But, it doesn't take much when the discography of an album is that bad. Anyway, I'm going to... A special reserve... The reason I added that this album is because I needed something to put in the D spot. Moving on. Tems. This is an honorable mention, and it pains me to have to put her in C. I'm praying to God that she drops something like this year or within the coming years, because I have been binging the shit out of her. I love her voice. She's probably my favorite female artist that's out right now. Her voice is just otherworldly. No matter what track she's on, whether it be her own or a feature. She was on Drake's CLB, Fountains. That's his song, but you can't convince me that it's not her song. I'm pretty sure she wrote all of that shit. She also did that song with Wizkid called Essence, and she has her own EP that she dropped, I believe, in 2018 called If Orange Was a Place. Very good. You should go listen to it. But one song that I've been stuck on, constantly find myself coming back to, is Avoid Things. Her live performance at what was it? The Jimmy Kimmel Show. I'll link it in the description if you want to listen to it. But her voice is something else. Like I just can't. I love her music. again, pains me that I have to put her in C. Melt My Eyes, See Your Future. Denzel Curry's return after 4 years. 4 years, because he dropped Taboo in 2018, I believe. And this is character development at its finest. Denzel Curry is not a character, he's a person, but this is personal growth displayed musically at its finest, in my opinion. Because in this album, he's coming back like with that grungy, hard narrative, like boom bap type of rap that you've heard him do before, but it wasn't really coming through all the way. Like, you heard a bit of what this album's sound is from Zoo, and a little bit in the beginning of Taboo before he deteriorated into the rock and punk type stuff. But this album is just, I'm almost speechless. I'll probably put this one an A+2, honestly. It did come out this year, and that's what I wanted to make this video for, to talk about the shit that I've been listening to this year. Now, that S spot I was talking about, if you know me, you know I love J. Cole. That's my favorite rapper. That's my favorite artist. Undisputed GOAT. I can't. Don't argue with me. Don't. I don't care. I don't care. You're wrong. Okay. SZA with Control. I listened to this album because... Why did I listen to this album? I like SZA. I like SZA a lot. Alright. Now, Dawn FM. Whoo! Man, I don't consume a lot of pop music. I've been listening to The Weeknd religiously, honestly, since 2020, because when After Hours came out that year, me and my homie were listening to it on this trip to San Francisco, and then I was just like, okay, you know what? I was sleeping on this nigga for way too long. I'm a fan now. So for the past 2 years, I've been consuming as much of his music as possible. So when this dropped, best believe I was excited as shit. And boy, it does not disappoint. This like 80s kind of clubby, not disco. Disco's not the right word for it. I guess it's really just 80s, a whole lot of synth and auto-tune and shit like that. It's just, he does it so well, and it sounds good on him. Like, he doesn't pull it off in every song, but for the most part, because he's able to write and sing so well, all of the songs just flow together in a way that doesn't seem unnatural, you know? It just feels right. So listening to it, it's smoothly just song after song flowing through your ear, and it's just, whoo! Anyway, I'm putting this in A+2 because I like that album. That's what I've been listening to this year. There's a couple other things in between, but these are the most important I felt I need to mention because this is the shit that I listen to the most. I will link... No, I'm not. I'm not going to link shit, except for Thames' live performance in the description. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed. If you disagree, you're wrong, but you feel free to do so in my DMs and Instagram or in the comment section. That's up to you. But if you're interested in checking any of this stuff out because you haven't listened to it, please do, because you will be doing yourself a favor. All right, peace out.